Hi, it's Dwyer, gamblersadvisory.com, dwyervip.com. It's the day of the fight, May 29th, 2016. Remember, the opinion you should follow should be your own. Just consider this video to be a second opinion from a complete stranger online. I'm surprised, very surprised, that Tony Bellew is an underdog to Makabu in their cruiserweight bout. Right? I believe this fight is a bettable fight. Right? I like Tony Bellew to win the fight. I believe he's a live underdog, hedged with Makabu by KO. Now understand, just some background, just some dynamics here. The fight is in Bellew's backyard in Liverpool. In other words, if this fight is close and if it goes to the distance, right, I think the hometown guy, the hometown favorite, who's going to have the crowd oohing and ahhing on every one of his big punches, is going to get the decision. More importantly, there's a size gap between these two guys, right? I'm pretty sure Bellew walks around at much higher than 200 pounds, right? Bellew, bigger man. I believe Bellew, because of his skill set, can smother the smaller man, can use his size to lean on Makabu, as he did in his last fight against Nathan Cleverly. I would encourage people to look at the last third of that fight. You're going to notice Tony Bellew decides to just smother Cleverly on the ropes. Right? Cleverly has no place to breathe. Bellew can fight inside. Right? Bellew's not just the guy with a jab who can operate from distance. Bellew can actually take the extra step. Not many fighters can. He can take the extra step past mid-range and actually fight you inside. In my opinion, Makabu can't, right? He's a mid-range guy. We'll call him a mid-range power puncher, right? Not quite just a mid-range hooker. He's a guy who throws an assortment of shots, but he likes to do so from mid-range. I get the feeling that if you shorten the distance on him, force him to shorten his punches, I believe he's going to have problems, right? He hits hard. He's a knockout puncher, but he needs room to operate. When you're dealing with a guy like this, think Felix Trinidad, right? If you can avoid fighting mid-range and actually turn it into a short-range bout, you can have the decided advantage. Now let me make the point too, that it's a bad visual for Makabu, right? When you have a bigger man who is insistent on getting inside, right? Inside. And he's pushing the smaller man around the ring. And the smaller man is a KO puncher who's not accustomed to creating space. Right? People typically move away from him. They don't move toward him. Look at the Makabu fights. You're going to see guys outside. You don't see guys rushing to the hurricane. Right? You and I know that the inside of a tornado is calm. So I don't think Makabu is accustomed to being on his back foot and having to create space. Right? Pivoting off at the side, creating space so he can get the mid-range he needs to land his shots. So what I believe you're going to see here is the bigger man pushing around the smaller man, smothering him. Makabu with his back up against the ropes, a place where he's unaccustomed. Right? Tony Bellew with the crowd behind him, forcing the action. Now the mistakes that opponents make against Makabu is Makabu does have a great upper body. He knows how to bend at the waist. He knows how to bend at the waist, moving side to side. He's elusive. The mistake I think guys make is they try to fight him long range, right? And throw punches at him. And he's able to dodge the punches, then he's the hunter. He's not the hunted. He then comes within mid-range and he hits you with hellacious counters. Right? Understand, though, that elusive upper body only goes so far. Right? If Bellew smothers him like Bernard Hopkins smothered Felix Trinidad, like Andre Ward smothered Alan Green, like Tony Bellew smothered Nathan Cleverly, then understand that upper body is going to be there to get hit. Right? Let me also say, too, that Makabu, even though he has a good moving upper body, is not defensively blessed. Right? He's been knocked out before. He doesn't know, in my opinion, how the other half lives. He's a hunter who, as I've said, is accustomed to doling out punishment. I don't think this guy fully appreciates what happens if the punishment comes back on him. He was too green, he was too young when he got stopped. I believe it's in his first or second fight. Right? In my opinion, he doesn't have the knowledge base that Tony Bellew, whose career has had highs and lows, who's fought people like Ike Chilemba, right? Shrewd operators in the ring. Right? I don't think Makabu has Bellew's level of experience. So when the casino is going to tell me that Tony Bellew in Liverpool is an underdog, sign me up. The bet I'm recommending here is to take Tony Bellew to win the fight. I am going to hedge the play with Makabu by KO, but understand the risk involves. That means that if Tony Bellew fights heroically, but the fight goes the distance and Makabu gets the decision and he hasn't lost for years, then you lose it all. Right? I like Bellew to win hedged with Makabu by KO. That's how I see it. Let me hear from you. Leave your comments for me here in the comment section to this video. Let me know where I'm right. Let me know where I'm wrong. Let's try to be specific and educational too. If you know of fights out there where a guy has smothered Makabu and he's been able to end the fight with very short punches, not mid-range punches, point that fight out. As well as any fights involving Makabu where his back was up against the ropes and he was able to operate fluently and win rounds. Right? I hope you leave those comments in the comment section to this video. Good luck.